Hooty hoo, all my stock market gamblers. Welcome today. I'm Tom Mike. So glad you're here. What do we got going on? Well, the markets are kind of going sideways, right? They're going to push it up to a new record high, but we may get a little bit of a pullback first. That's possible, but they're going to push this to a new record high. You're going to have a chance to still get out at the top, but we're kind of going sideways. Little up, little down, little up, little down, but eventually they're going to push this to a new record high. All right, today, before we go over to the real estate market, I want to talk a little bit about the Bitcoin conference, right? I mean, Bitcoin Mania was this week. It's like the World Wrestling events where they have, mania running everywhere, people showing up. I mean, they had 30,000 people in Las Vegas for the Bitcoin Mania conference. J.D. Vance, our vice president, he was there speaking. Peter Schiff, he doesn't own it, but he's there speaking. He's telling them it's a scam. Michael Saylor, I believe he was there. Snoop Dogg, I don't know if Snoop Dogg was there. But anyways, somebody let me know, did Satoshi finally come out? Did he come out of the closet, go up on stage and say, hey, I'm Satoshi? But anyways, 30,000 people. I don't know the price of admission. I know the price of admission in the Paris one was $1,000 a person. Now in Paris they only had 10,000, but in Vegas we had 30,000 people for the Bitcoin conference. Now here's the funny part. Did Bitcoin go up this week on the Mania? No. Was up at 112. Now we're down around 107. I actually thought we might push up to 115, but if this Mania can't make Bitcoin go up, tells you everybody's already bought, probably going to get a little bit of a pullback down into the low 90s would be my guess. Now here's the thing. Okay, I do believe Bitcoin can push back up to even higher highs because they're going to fund liquidity into this market. Maybe Bitcoin goes as high as 150,000 before the big rug pull. But after the big rug pull, it's going to go below 50,000. I hope it holds on because below 50,000, well, that's about where Michael Saylor will be losing his company because he'll be liquidating every Bitcoin he has, and it could wipe out Bitcoin all the way down to, I just hope it makes it. All right, so at the Silver Conference, now the Silver Conference has a few weekends back, there were 72 people showed up. 72 people. You see, nobody wants to buy silver. Everybody thinks Bitcoin's the way to get rich. Now, here's the thing. Okay, you let me know in the comments. Would you rather have one Bitcoin or 4,000 ounces, 4,000 brand new Silver Eagle ounces? Which would you rather have, one Bitcoin or 4,000 silver ounces? Well, I know the young people, they would take the one Bitcoin, right? Because they haven't seen the tulip bubble. They haven't seen the Beanie Babies. But I would take 4,000 silver ounces. That's why I don't want my wealth in Bitcoin, right? Because Bitcoin's going to go away. Well, not go away completely, but it's going to get wiped out about 80%. But mark my words, it can go up to 150 before it comes down by 80% and goes below 50,000. Now, there's some interesting things that happened in this conference. All right. So GameStop comes out with the announcement this week on the Bitcoin Mania. GameStop comes out and they say they bought 4,700 Bitcoins. They're going to follow Michael Saylor, or because they have a failing company, just like Michael Saylor's company was failing. Now, Michael Saylor says you don't need to have a successful product. You don't need to have a service. All you need to do is buy Bitcoin. Your company will become one of the richest companies in the world. So GameStop comes out and announces that they bought 4,700 Bitcoin, right? I mean, that's a lot of Bitcoin, $513 million. Did it make Bitcoin go up? No, it didn't, but they bought it, right? What did it make happen? Made their stock drop by 20%. Now, why do these companies come out, they announce that they're going to buy Bitcoin, and then their stocks drop between 10 and 20%? Well, because they're coming out and declaring, hey, we're going to go bankrupt and we're going to go to the casino now and we're going to try to win our way out of bankruptcy. Look, they don't even believe in their own company enough to buy back their stock. They'd rather go to the crypto casino and gambling. And that's why these stocks, when they come out with the news, drop about 10 to 20%. They listen to Michael Saylor. It'll be a quick way to wipe out their company, just like his will eventually get wiped out. Now, here's another thing that was interesting. You have Jim Chanos. Now, Jim Chanos is a legendary short seller. He shorts companies. He finds companies that are going to go out of business and he shorts them. Now, I could not figure out. He might have been at the Bitcoin conference. I just couldn't figure out why he owns so much Bitcoin. I couldn't figure it out. But here's the plan that Jim came up with. He says Bitcoin's right here around 100,000, but Michael Saylor company, MicroStrategy, they're charging you $200,000 for each Bitcoin. That's what they're valuing their company at. Now, they say their Bitcoin's more productive than just regular old lazy Bitcoin, but they're at 200,000 when Bitcoin's at 100,000. So what Chanos has done is bought millions and millions, hundreds of millions of Bitcoin. And then he shorted millions and millions of MicroStrategy, right? Very smart man. I mean, Jim Chanos is a genius. It's just kind of shocking to me why he had so much Bitcoin on his balance sheet. It's because he's short MicroStrategies, betting that the company's going to go to zero. Now, I would agree with Mr. Chanos that it's going to go away. I mean, he's levered, right? Michael Saylor's levered in his Bitcoin play, and he borrows $1 billion every month to go buy some more of it. Now, his cost is getting up around 70, 80,000. Now, if it drops below that, he's going to probably have to start liquidating some of this, but hopefully it works out for him for a little while. I don't want Bitcoin to go away yet. People think I hate Bitcoin. I love Bitcoin. Only thing I love more in Bitcoin right now is my Ethereum. Ethereum's booming. Bitcoin's doing nothing. Ethereum's going up, right? I mean, I hope they get an ETF for fart coin so I can trade that. An ETF for Trump coin. Now, Trump coin, I mean, he's using the presidency to scam people, right? Comes out with the Trump coin. You buy $7 million worth of Trump coin, you get to have dinner with the president at the White House. I mean, using his public office to fleece people, that's ridiculous in my opinion. Now, Biden, he was at least silent about it. Had those secret bank accounts and Hunter would give 10% to the big guy. But Trump, he's right out there in front, fleecing the public. I don't get this, right? I just don't. It's embarrassing to me. Look, the whole political thing, I just hate them all, right? I mean, because they're spending our money, which is stealing. They're printing it, right? Which is stealing our money, making our money go away. I hate that, right? I mean, this Trump thing, the big, beautiful bill. I don't get the big, beautiful bill. It adds $5 trillion. But Mike, we have the Doge boys in there. They're going to clean up. Well, Elon has left the building. Very sad. I mean, Elon has parted ways with the government. Now, it came out and originally going to cut $2 trillion. Then it went down. He's going to cut $1 trillion. Know what he cut? I think it's less than $100 billion, which actually, that doesn't even pay the interest on our debt for 1 month. But yet we're going to add $5 trillion more with the big, beautiful bill. Now, why do I hate these politicians? Because they're stealing our money, right? That's our money. It's not their money. Look at me and you. We don't get to go have dinner with the president at the White House because we didn't buy his Trump coin. Come on, stop fleecing the public. It's ridiculous. All right. Enough of all this ranting. Let's get over to the real estate market. Now, what's going on there? Oh, the luxury market, that top-end houses, they're cracking. Man, they're dropping like rocks. I mean, just the sales volume's down 10% year over year. Now, remember, price always follows volume. But the price of these big McMansions, nobody wants them, right? Us baby boomers, we're getting older, selling off the McMansion, but the younger generation can't afford them up here. Now, when they come to half off, I think some of the younger generation is going to step in and buy some of this. Now, I get the comments in the comment section, and this is one I see more often than not, and a lot of people don't understand it, so I'm going to try to explain this a little bit. They say, but Mike, houses are going to have to go up because they're going to cut the interest rate to zero, and they're going to print the printing press, right? Trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars, and this is going to make the housing market boom. Who are you going to sell to, right? First of all, who are you going to sell to? Nobody can buy them at these prices, right? They're the most unaffordable they've ever been. So they double from here. Who are you selling to? You don't have any buyers anymore, right? Okay, now granted, I do agree that the Fed's going to come in and cut the rates to zero. Why? Because otherwise Donald Trump's going to go in and fire him, right? He doesn't have the power to fire him, would love to fire him, but he just Powell cut him to zero, come to zero. But Powell says he can't come to zero. because of the tariffs. But now the tariffs are going away, right? The judge says that we can't have those tariffs because the president can't put the tariffs on, the Congress has to. So the tariffs are illegal. I mean, China and the other countries, man, they're just laughing at us. They're not trying to make any trade deal with us. You can spin it any way you want. But these tariffs, so the tariffs, we can't have tariffs. So now we don't, maybe Powell's going to drop it to zero now. Now, here's what's going to happen. When you drop the rates to zero, guess what the housing market's going to do? Boom, boom, boom. It's going to drop. Now, people don't get this. People don't get this. See, here's what I want to explain. You see, housing is a debt asset. It's a debt asset. But Mike, I own mine free and clear. It's not a debt asset. And that's true. You own yours free and clear. But your next door neighbor just put his house up for sale because he's getting divorced, right? Well, who's going to come in and buy that? Somebody with a mortgage. Over 80% of homes are bought with a mortgage, right? Bought with a mortgage. Now, when the Federal Reserve lowers rates to zero, the long end of the curve is going to skyrocket. Why? Because of hyperinflation's coming. They see the hyperinflation and they're saying, hey, I'm not going to loan my money to the government for 20 years for no 5%. They're going to have to pay me 10%, maybe 15% before this whole thing's done. Because why? Because the government has no way to pay this back. No way to pay it back except for printing the money. If you want to guarantee that you're going to lose money, get in the bond market for 20 years. I guarantee you'll lose money. The government guarantees you'll lose money. Look, if you got inflation running at 8% still and they're paying you 4 or 5%, you're losing 4% a year. Well, after 10 years, you've lost 40%. After 20 years, you've lost 80% of your money. Gone. Yes, they'll pay you back. Don't get me wrong. You're going to get your money back. But the money's going to be worth much less than it is now. So here you got the Fed cutting rates to zero, which I believe they will do. And here you got the long end going from 5% up to 10%. Where's your mortgage going to be? 12, 14, 16, 18, we don't know yet. Maybe above 20, right? So you can't afford houses here at 7% mortgage rate. How is someone going to afford it at 15%, at 20%? They're not. There's no buyers, right? So the prices start dropping. Even though we're bringing rates to zero, even though we're printing money to get hyperinflation going, real estate is going to be coming down. The housing market, well, the commercial market's already fallen. You got the shopping centers, they've already crashed and burned right as we speaking right now. The apartment owners are crashing and burning, but you're going to have the homeowners crashing and burning. It's going to be sad. People don't like, I'm going to get so much hate for this from the Bitcoiners, from the moon boys on the houses. The comments are going to be ridiculous on this one. I love that though. I love that. It's all right. We don't have to agree. This is just an old guy with a microphone. That's all I am. You got your take. You got your brain. Listen to me. Go out and listen to Dave Ramsey. Go out and listen to Barbara Cochran. You make your decision what's going to happen in the future. See, I'm not Nostradamus. Nobody knows what the future is going to bring. I'm just telling you when they lower that short end to zero, the long end's going to go up because people are going to not want to give the government their money for 20 years at 5% when we're going to go into a hyperinflation mode. They're just not going to want to do it. Maybe you got people in your neighborhood that's going to do it. But look at your neighbor. He's going through a divorce. He has to sell his house. Yours is free and clear, but the buyer comes in, can't get the mortgage. Price reduction, price reduction, price reduction. Oh, good. I got a buyer. Oh, I'm in escrow. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Uh-oh. Fell out of escrow, right? Price reduction, price reduction, price reduction. I'm telling you, it's going to come down. Why? Because mortgage rates are going up. Look, you can't even get mortgages now. The banks, they're not giving out the loans like they used to. They're rejecting. Over 40% are being rejected right now. I mean, that's the highest number I've ever heard in the rejection rate. But the banks, they're smart. They see the asset that you own and that you're trying to get the mortgage again. They see it depreciating, and it will depreciate about 50%. $1 million today, $400,000 tomorrow. And the banks have seen this before. They're replaying the movie in their head. They're going, we're not going to do it this time. We're going to turn away these people that aren't qualified. We're not going to go to the subprime borrow market. We're not going to have the adjustable rates. We're just not going to do loans at any price. Yeah, maybe you want to pay 8, 9, 10% for a mortgage. We're still not going to give it to you. Why? Because you have too much debt. Household debt at a record high. $19 trillion. Look at market, the housing market is getting ready for a big collapse. We're in the selling season right now. I mean, this is prime selling season. I'm telling you, the buyers just aren't there. Why? It's unaffordable. Maybe they'll come back, right? Maybe they'll come back once we go from 1 million down to 400,000. Let's hope that gets them back in the marketplace. Anyways, I'm Tall Mike. Give me the thumbs up. Punch the subscribe button. Get out there, everybody. Have a great day. Bye-bye now.